You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
This is Rod Mahood, your in-game voice of the Niagara IceDogs, and you're listening to the Dog Pound Podcast on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your podcast source for all game analysis, team interviews, and up-to-date news regarding the Niagara IceDogs.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Dog Pound Podcast, right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your December 7th, 2020 edition, your source of North American sports coverage by sports fans, for sports fans, delivered to you right here in the beautiful Niagara region. Find us on social media for updates, giveaways, and sponsorship promo codes each month by following the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching the Armchair GM Sports Network, as well as this show's podcast at Dog Pound Podcast. We're the favorite podcast of all the Ice Dog players' fathers, so you want to add to that list, go and check that out.
Your dad's favorite podcast.
Dad, we need to just label ourselves as the dad's favorite podcast, because that's basically what it's become at this point. Shout outs to Jeff Howard for this episode, because we are interviewing Mason Howard on today's episode. But got to go through the rest of the intro here as well. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, CastBox, and Deezer by searching the Armchair GM Sports Network. And lastly, our beautiful user-friendly website, armchairgmsports.com, for all things regarding our network, including articles, podcast episodes, sponsors, and contributors. Everything's on there for you guys. Go please check that out and give us a like and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to us right now. As always, I'm one of your hosts of the Dog Pound Podcast, Cappy. Follow me on Twitter at Kapoots13 with the Canadian Z. As well, you can follow my co-host. He is Kyle.
Hello.
At JustKyle51. Kyle, like I mentioned, we're going to be interviewing IceDogs defenseman Mason Howard, the Hippo, the block shot legend. Really excited to talk to Mason and continue our tour around the IceDogs locker room with these interviews while we're continuing to wait for the season to start.
Right. I was sitting here like talking about it with someone. I forget who I was talking to, and I was like, oh, how's the podcast? And I'm like, it's tough coming up with content when nothing's happening. So like we've been literally just interviewing players, and I think that's like what this show is going to be about until we get closer to the season, just interviewing players that we want to interview. And I mean, we could sit here and probably go through the whole team, but I don't know. Do you think we can get to the whole team by the beginning of the season?
We'll have to see. Maybe we'll have to start doing double takes, part 2 with Big Bert. Maybe, I don't know, but
yeah, we need to get the yoga situation under control.
The episode's just going to be related to Big Bert's yoga. That's what the episode's going to be called. But
it'll be his DVD promotion episode.
We give Jake too much flack, man. Good on the kid for doing some yoga when everybody else is having the quarantine 15 gaining weight. So good for him. He's going to be coming back in the best shape more than anybody else on the team. So we got to give him credit where credit's due at some point.
We'll see when we get back down there. But as for this episode, I'm excited to talk to Mason, man. The guy is like the king of block shots. That's all I can remember from this past season, which is him blocking like every single shot. So I'm interested to see and talk about his game and, if he's feeling all right after all those block shots. And the Hippo thing, I want to know what if that's going to be his nickname. I'm curious to see what his nickname's going to be, since what we've been doing here is figuring out what people's nicknames are.
Yeah, and we're going to have to see. He's from London, so unfortunately he's probably going to be a London Knights boy, so we're going to have to talk about that. I know the Niagara fans are going to cringe about that, but we'll have to see if he's converted to Niagara nowadays. But with that said, guys, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into our interview with Niagara IceDogs defenseman Mason Howard. Enjoy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another special edition of the Dog Pound Podcast right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. On today's episode, we are pleased to be joined by another IceDogs player as we welcome defenseman Mason Howard to the show. Mason, Kyle, and Brandon with you here. Great to talk to you, which is felt like forever since the last time we saw you out on the ice blocking all those shots, kid.
Yeah, it's been a while for sure. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries. What do you think of the new threads, by the way, released last week for the Dogs? Are you excited to don those alternates? And is there a jersey in the team's jersey line that you really enjoy wearing the most?
Yeah, the new jerseys look pretty sick. We were missing out on the Reds last year. I'm glad they brought them back for this season, though.
Yeah, rocking the Reds definitely a good
Make them
thing.
see red.
Yep. But with that said, Kyle, what's our first question for Mason today?
So lately we've had an interesting first question. So the last couple of interviews, we had to bring this up right away. So we've been coming up with nicknames for your teammates to call them throughout the show. So far we have Big Bert for Jake Uberti. And we actually have, believe it or not, Landon Cato gave us the name Kit Kat or Kate's for him. But I think you've already got one that's, to our knowledge at least, we have Hippo Howard written down. Because I remember asking Jordan one time about why you had a hippo emoji, and then she said she went around asking all the players about their emojis, and you gave the hippo one. Can you just talk, kind of elaborate a little bit on that? I guess that this nickname we're about to call you Hippo at all?
Yeah, that started my first season with the IceDogs. In preseason, we were playing in Kitchener, and we went on the PK, and I ended up blocking a few shots right off my back. And then I got back to the bench, and our goalie coach at the time, Ryan Ludzik, came down and said, "Oh, you're like the Hungry Hippo game. They eat all the stuff on the board. All you do is eat pucks." It kind of just stuck with me from there and started being called Hippo.
Honestly, like every time we would watch a game, like we were in the press box watching you guys, and I mean, I'm not keeping track of everyone in the defensive end, but as soon as there was a block shot, I could already tell who blocked it. Like I knew it was going to be you. And sure enough, I look, I'm like, oh, well, yep, there's 10 on the ground lying and taking one for the team. She takes one for the boys every single shot. So I can see where that would come into play too.
Is that something you want to stick with moving forward with that nickname, or are you hoping that at some point you get to change it, or is that you now? Are you now the Hippo?
Yeah, I got a bunch of different nicknames throughout the team. It's more just the media now calling me Hippo. Now that we've had all the other guys graduate, no one really knows Hippo anymore.
Oh, they'll know once they hit the ice February. They'll know about the hungry Hippos. That's for sure. But going off of that as well, Mason, we got read last year on the story behind the numbers article on the IceDogs website last season that your favorite number is number 10. You said that growing up in London, unfortunately, as a London Knight, and you're going to get a lot of flack from Niagara fans, as we're not too fond of those pesky London Knights over the years, knocking us out of the deep playoff runs twice. You were a fan of Josh Beaulieu when he wore it for the London Knights. Is there any other significance with the number 10, or is that basically the gist of it?
No, just growing up, I always had season tickets to the Knights, and I always go to games, and Josh Beaulieu was one of my favorite players watching. He's always out there hitting, getting scraps. So at that age, that's all I loved hockey for, watching fights and hits. So that number just kind of stuck with me.
Mm-hmm. And is that something moving forward, the rest of your hockey career, that you want to stick with number 10? It's a pretty popular number, so do you have a backup number in the future if a teammate already has that?
Yeah, I wore 6 in full my first year of junior B, so that'd be a one I could go to as well. 6.
Okay, cool.
Oh, the
I've always like 27 too, but AJ Cook took that one, so
okay,
that'd be my backup if I needed it.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't realize, and I didn't even realize it till I did the interview prep for this show, and that you actually played for the Thorold Blackhawks, so you're actually familiar with the Niagara region before you got to the IceDogs. How was that transition for you, going from the Thorold and now coming all the way here to St. Catharines?
Yeah, that was a great opportunity for me to play for Thorold. They were coming off the year where they folded, so brand new owner, GM, everything. Scott Barnes was the head coach, and he was great. That organization's top class for junior B. They gave me all the opportunity in the world and helped me develop to becoming an OHL defenseman.
Sweet.
Awesome. We hear so many great hockey stories about players, whether it's like destroying a certain appliance, doors, basements, etc. Growing up, practicing in and around their house. So do you have one of those like great Canadian hockey stories about something, maybe one of your parents' properties that you've kind of damaged by hockey pucks or some sort of hockey type of accident?
I don't think I have any hockey ones. I know I put a golf club through the ceiling at my one house. So.
Should we even ask how that happened, or is that too long of a story?
No, I was just working on my swing in the basement. Full swing got carried away right through the roof.
Wow, you must be a Leaf fan then, warming up the golf swing.
Yeah.
That's a question we'll get into after.
Oh man, I have one, but it's not even a hockey story. I literally I was I guess practicing my swing, and I caught my brother in his upper left eye. Didn't even know he was behind me. Yeah, parents didn't like that.
Yep. Do you remember the moment growing up when you were finally fell in love with hockey, Mason? Was it always your number one choice in sports, or was there another sport that you really enjoyed playing or thought about pursuing other than hockey?
Yeah, for a while I was going back and forth between hockey and lacrosse. I played lacrosse all the way up, same with hockey, and eventually I had to choose hockey, but it was a hard choice. I played the year I signed with the IceDogs for the playoff season. I didn't play any games for the Dogs, but I ended up going home to London. I played a couple of games of junior B lacrosse to see if I still loved it or not, and eventually I ended up just sticking with hockey.
That's really interesting because one of your new teammates, Pano Fimis, we talked to him earlier in the year, and he said that lacrosse was his favorite sport, or second favorite sport as well. So it seems like, in great Canadian fashion, the kids with the lacrosse stick and the hockey stick in both hands there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You were born in London, like we said, so despite the love for the London Knights, which we're going to try and forget and forgive for you here, from an NHL perspective, did you go with the local Toronto Maple Leafs growing up, or did you go against the grain and choose another favorite team outside your home arena or home area, like myself? I know Detroit is also a popular team in southwestern Ontario, kind of where you're from. So did you end up going? Who did you end up going with for your favorite NHL team?
Yeah, I was born a Leafs fan.
Yeah, damn right.
I had to stick with it over the years through the ups and downs, or downs, I guess.
Well, that's going to wrap it up That's going to wrap it up for today's episode of the Dog Pound Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Kyle's a diehard Leaf fan, Mason, so he's going to... I think every single player here that we've interviewed so far has been a Leaf fan. So, except for Cam Butler, he's a Sens fan, so I feel bad for him too. But that could be a discussion for a whole other episode. But so the Leafs are the buds. Kyle's going to love that. So you might as well tell, who was your favorite Leaf growing up there, Mason? Was it one of those shot-blocking defensemen that the Leafs have had over the years?
I've had a couple favorite Leafs over the years. Dion Phaneuf, when he first got there.
You seem like a Dmitry Yushkevich kind of guy.
No, Phaneuf was electric when he first came in. All the hype in the world.
Yeah.
Over the years, though, it's transformed. I like Matthews now, though.
Oh, yeah. Guy's a stud.
Kyle's favorite. But, Kyle, I kind of took your thunder with the next question, but you can kind of turn it around here.
That's all right. So, might have been asked this way so many times, just like kind of just now, but is there a certain player, maybe other than a Leafs player growing up, that you kind of looked up to and kind of molded your game after at all?
Yeah, nowadays I like watching Colton Parayko play on the Blues. I think my game's good. A lot like just big defenseman. He's still got some offense, so I got to work on mine still.
Well, coach gives you some power play time. We'll see that go up.
Yeah, I'll put in a good word for you.
Yeah, coach is listening right now, probably. So,
we know Joey is. Shout out to you, Joey.
Yeah, for sure. But do you have any, like Kyle and myself are big jersey collectors, Mason? Do you have any other jerseys that aren't your own that are hanging up in your closet, or are you basically just a Howard guy in the closet?
No, my billet house, we got a bunch of signed jerseys, but my house in London, I don't have many.
Unfortunate. That's we're big jersey collectors, and unfortunately, Kyle and myself never made it far enough to have our own names on the back of it, unless we got like one of those custom made ones. So we never made it to a level like you. So maybe if
my
we
beer
did,
league jerseys got mine.
Yeah, or your Team Listerine ones. That's another good story. But during your time in quarantine, Mason, without getting yourself flack from your teammates like one of your other teammates there, Big Bert, and his yoga stretching, other than obviously training on and off the ice, what has been your favorite pastime during the last 8 months? We've seen that you were in the tournament for the esports tournament for the CHL, but so you're obviously a gamer as well. But what have been some of your favorite pastimes during quarantine?
Yeah, a lot of video games have been going on in my house since quarantine started.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier in the summer, I tried to get out to the golf course a good amount, play a little golf. But other than that, just video games, golf, really, for me.
Perfect. Sounds like a good life to me. It's basically what I like doing too. I'm a big golfer and play video games too, so I can appreciate that. And then I just brought it up in the last question. You played in that esports NHL tournament representing the IceDogs. Unfortunately, you lost to the Sherbrooke Phoenix representative 3-1. But how much did you enjoy that, and how much would you like to see that go forward? And how much do you think it's an important kind of initiative for the CHL to start reaching out to that younger market and that gamer demographic to try to add more eyes and personality to junior hockey, with esports becoming so popular worldwide now?
Yeah, that was a great idea. Whoever came up with that, like, they hit it right on with that. Yeah, for sure. Esports is starting to get huge. Like, all the kids in the world, even there's tons of adults that are doing it now. If you go on Twitch and watch NHL, tons of streamers. It's just keeps on growing and growing. And you see all those big streamers now making millions of dollars doing it. So I think it was a great idea for the CHL to input that tournament, and hopefully it continues.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see you get a rematch there. I think, your connection wasn't that great, so I'd like to see you get another crack at it, maybe a second chance tournament or something like that. Or, your teammates are probably going to give you flack. A lot of them probably thought that they could go in there and do a better job. But have you heard from any of your teammates? Were they giving you flack about losing in the first round, or have you kind of been giving it back to them, showing them, that you would probably beat them anyway, like your boy Landon Cato?
Yeah, a few of them texted me and said, "You suck," all that. Just tell them to talk to Kate about the hotel games.
Yeah, well, Kyle's pretty bad. I'd probably make fun of him too if he was the representative for the IceDogs media. I'd be pretty upset because I could definitely take Kyle 10 out of 10 times in NHL versus. He's the.
Yeah, I can't even lie because you are. I am pretty bad. I don't think you'll go to. I don't think you ever hear someone say, "Yeah, I'm pretty bad at Shell," but I am pretty bad at Shell.
You're good at. He's good at doing the franchise modes on our YouTube channel. He's doing a lot of the Seattle Kraken stuff, so he's doing a lot of the simulation for that. So he's not playing any games, but he does a good job at entertaining people at least. But
I like to think I'm good though.
Yeah. Anyways, Kyle, go ahead.
So yeah, your fellow defenseman there, Landon Cato, also gave you a shout out on our interview with him about that when he plays himself with the IceDogs in Shell 21, he enjoys playing as your D partner because your computer player just quote unquote destroys guys anytime he gets around a puck carrier. Do you like playing as yourself in the game, or have you tried putting yourself on there on the forward line maybe to send the tape into Coach Burke to plead your case, maybe to get some forward time this season?
Yeah, I'm really big into the Ultimate Team game. So At the start of the year, I reached out to the head of the EA Sports, and they ended up sending me a 99 card of myself. So
wait, I think I've seen that. Did you post that on Twitter?
Yeah, it's on my Twitter. So, I'm kind of stuck playing with myself, but my opinion's the best card in the game. So
99. You better have 99 shot blocking, or else it's not a real card.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 99 everything. Not one stat. It's not 99.
Oh, man.
Even
that's fantastic.
Even face-offs. All right. Well, yeah, I guess you and Big Burke got to have a face-off competition for day one of training camp.
He'll definitely lose the yoga competition, I think. Maybe Mason's got him there.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see about that. Getting a lot of flack for that. But with that said, we're going to take our commercial break on the show today, and we're going to come back with part 2 of our interview with IceDogs defenseman Mason Howard. So stay right here. We're right back on the Dog Pound podcast and right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. Carmine's Pizzeria Italiano, serving traditional-style Italian pizzas made with the freshest, top-quality ingredients. Loaded subs and their famous chicken wings. Winners of the Reader's Choice Diamond Award 4 years running from Niagara this week for Best Pizza and Wings in Niagara Falls. Home of the best tray and wing combo in town for the price and quality. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Located on the corner of Drummond Road and Dunn Street. Available for call-ahead pickup or delivery at 905-374-4400. Make sure to like them on Facebook and view their website for their menu at carmine'spizzeria.ca. Carmine's Pizzeria Italiano. Way too good. As we all adjust to this new world that we're living in today, masks are now mandatory, and Niagara's own Custom PPE is Canada's leading face mask provider. Visit them online at customppe.ca and choose between several mask options with different colors and sizes. Add your organization, company, or team logo so you make your face masks unique. Available to purchase online 24/7 at customppe.ca and shipped within 1 week. They have the best prices and quickest turnaround in Canada, and no order is too big or too small. Also offering custom floor stickers as well as face and counter shields for your business or workplace. Visit customppe.ca and use the code ARMCHAIR at checkout for 20% off your custom or blank face mask today. Custom PPE, Canada's leading face mask provider. Attention job seekers, if you are currently looking for work in the Niagara region, you owe it to yourself to check out the services provided by the Niagara Employment Help Center, located at 6100 Thoroldstone Road, Niagara Falls, directly across from the Camisos Plaza. Their free services include resume and cover letter writing, community resource and referral information, local labor market information, job search strategies, assistance with clarifying employment training and career goals, employment counseling and job search support, second career information and registration assistance, and all their services are currently provided by appointment only. So give them a call at 905-358-0021 or visit their website at ehc.on.ca, the Niagara Employment Help Center. This Employment Ontario program is funded by the Government of Ontario. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 2 of our IceDogs interview with defenseman Mason Howard right here on the Dog Pound podcast. Kyle, take it away.
So obviously the end of the last season was definitely a learning curve for you guys after trading away such core pieces like Akil Thomas, Phil Tomasino, Kean Sopa, and even Drew Hunter in the back end, as well as losing Ivan Lania and Koussman at the end of the year, who finished their OHL careers as overagers. How was the whole experience for you in that second half of the season after the trade deadline? Because obviously everyone was asked and relied upon to take a bigger role with the team. Did you kind of welcome the challenge to elevate your game to the next level and learn what it takes to maybe become a top D man on your team in the OHL who is heavily relied upon?
Yeah, for sure. It was obviously tough seeing the core group go there. Phil, Akil, all those guys, Soaps, Druzy, they're all great guys, great teammates, even better people, great hockey players. So obviously tough seeing those guys go, but once they go, you just look forward to playing against them, proving yourself and your team, showing them that they shouldn't have left, or even if it's not their decision, that we're better off without them. But throughout the years, yeah, we were all asked to take a bigger role, and I think most of the guys accepted it and started playing. We saw those young guys getting all the ice. I think it was good for our team, for them to develop, having so many rookies last year, and even for the older guys, as like myself and AJ Cook, even all those guys, we got more ice time than we would have. So it was definitely a good thing for the team, but it's obviously sad to see those guys go.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the draft position came some really exciting young talent to the organization, including Pano Fimis, Daniil Gushin, Alec Leonard, Bryce Cook, to name a few of them. Have you had a chance to reach out to any of these guys or all these guys and welcome them to the organization as one of the leaders of this group moving forward now?
Yeah, I reached out to them on draft day, just welcome them to the team, say hi, just ask them how they're doing, how their experience is going. They all seem like they're great kids, great players, so hopefully they can really help the team. Can't wait to actually meet them at camp.
See, look at that. Hippo looking out for the team, just like his buddy Big Bert, who bragged about how he reached out to every teammate. So I guess he wasn't the only one trying to make himself look like the captain of the squad there. So seems like
that's yoga sensei Jake Uberti, by the way.
Seems like the more players we interview, it's just Jake Uberti's becoming more torched by the interview here. So maybe he shouldn't have been our first player interview here. Maybe he should have been the last one. He wouldn't have got so much flack from you guys. But moving forward, do you welcome taking on a leadership role as something you'd like to pursue more going forward with this team, or is that something that just comes naturally to you?
Yeah, for sure, I welcome it. I like being a leader on the team. I know I'm one of the older guys left now, and I've had great leaders in my career so far. I went through a couple captains on the IceDogs, and I watched how they taught the younger guys like me when I was younger. But now that I'm an older guy, I want to be able to show the young guys the ropes and just help them develop their game, and as people even, just to see what their potential can be and how far they can make it in the hockey world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know it's been a while since like you've actually stepped on the ice for an actual in-game situation. So how excited and eager are you and I guess your teammates to get back on the ice to prove that what happened last season won't define you guys as a group going into this year. And as you hopefully take the next step towards that grind back up the Eastern Conference standings, that losing stretch after the trade deadline must have been a really tough test to battle through and to keep a positive mindset through such a rough time.
Yeah, I'm super excited to start the season whenever we get to start it. We brought in a bunch of young talent, so hopefully they can perform and carry a little bit of the load here for us older guys. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what the team can do this year. Hopefully we're much better than we were last year at the end of the year, and I think we will be. Yeah,
I can see that you guys definitely, with all the additions from the draft and just the promise you guys look on paper, I think you guys are going to be a lot better. And me and Brandon, I know, can attest for him that we are excited to even get back to be covering you guys and watching you guys out there. So yeah, I can't wait for it to get back.
Yeah. You were drafted in the 10th round, Mason, 185th overall in 2017. Do you remember that day like it was yesterday, or was there something that stuck out to you that you'll never forget? Maybe, upset about when you were drafted, but excited to where you were drafted?
Yeah, I was really disappointed when I was dropping in the draft going so late. But as soon as I heard it was Niagara, I got a call from Joey Burke right away, and they were excited to have me, and I was fired up to come to Niagara. One of my best buddies, Phil Tomasino, was the first-round pick, so getting to play with him again was amazing.
Oh, yeah. You must be so happy for him then, getting his shot, hopefully with Nashville this year as their first-round pick last year. Just how proud are you of him, are you as a good friend of his?
Yeah, he's a great person, great player. He's unbelievable on the ice, the things he can do. Nashville picked him pretty good. It's a good pick they had. They're not going to regret choosing him in the NHL draft. That's for sure.
But if he does come back to Oshawa, he knows that he's going to have a few bruises from Hippo Howard when they do face each other if he doesn't make Nashville, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, he won't be coming down my side. He knows that already.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
We're obviously the draft was different this year with the pandemic. Were you disappointed for all the players drafted in the 2020 draft for not being able to kind of have the same type of experience that maybe you had during the pandemic, changing the restrictions and the way the draft had to be conducted, and they weren't allowed to go down to the rink and introduce themselves to the media, to the community, the organization, all on the same day and everything like that? What were your thoughts on how the draft went this year for those young kids?
Yeah, the draft obviously would suck for them not being able to come meet the team, like all the guys who actually drafted them. Like I know with my draft, the top 3 picks came down to Niagara right away, and then a couple weeks later we had a whole orientation where every prospect came out. We did a rink tour, school tour, all that stuff. So not for them not being able to meet everybody, and it sucks for them. But I think the whole OHL and Niagara's organization did a great job with the draft for this year under the circumstances we're in right now.
Yeah, definitely. We have a chance to talk to Coach Billy and GM Joey over the summer, so they're pretty excited for you guys. But Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah. Last year it was your second year in the OHL. How did you feel you grew from year 1 to 2, and just how do you think you can take an even bigger step into your third year, hopefully starting in February?
Yeah, just my first year being one of the younger guys on the team, having all the age on our team that year. I was one of the youngest guys, even though I was in my 17-year-old year. There's only Uberti and DeSimone that were younger than me, so I was still considered a young guy, and I had to look up to all those older guys to show me the ropes, and it was a great experience learning from all of them. And then going on to this year, being able to get more minutes and being one of the older guys now, it was just it was really good for me development-wise, being able to play top 4 minutes this year as the 6-7 defenseman minutes the year before.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And you scored 8 goals last year, 7 assists. You must obviously think that going into your third year, there's definitely more that you can give production-wise to this group as one of the veteran leaders on the group, especially on such a young D-core as well.
Yeah, for sure. Points aren't my main focus, but it's always nice to get them once in a while, and I hope I can get up my point total this year.
Yeah, we had a question on IceDogs Extra. Would Mason Howard reach 10 goals? And I said smash that all day long. So I've got you at least going to double digits, Mason, especially in a non-contact year. Maybe you'll get up to Erik Karlsson scoring 40 goals maybe. I don't want to put that too much pressure on you there, but definitely think you got more to give than 8 goals. So we'll definitely see what the point total is going up this year. Maybe I don't know if it's going to be as good as your 99 overall Huck card, but it might be somewhere in that range, right?
Yeah, I won't come close to those guys' stats, but 40 would be nice if I could ever hit that.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's at home and you score your 10th goal, just point up to the press box at Brandon. There you go.
Yeah, I expect a point for sure. But what were your thoughts on how the 2021 season has been delayed? Obviously, it was supposed to start in September or October like it usually does. Then it got postponed until December, and then it gets postponed once again until February of next year. Has that been tough on you trying to prepare physically and mentally for the season that has continually been changing in the unknown of the waves going on through this pandemic?
Yeah, it gets me antsy, honestly. We keep thinking we're coming back. September hits, we're like, oh, we're almost here. Push back December, getting closer and closer, push it back again. It's just frustrating seeing it get pushed back continuously. But once we get on the ice, I'm sure everything will be okay.
Mm-hmm. It's even for media people, it's been we've been getting antsy with that. I can only imagine what you guys are doing, trying to prepare mentally and physically for the season. That I'm sure I can only imagine what you guys are going through. Just the waves of this thing, and hopefully we do get it started back up in February, which kind of leads into Kyle's last question for you.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. For our last question here for you, Mason. We got to talk about the elephant in the room. If we do get a season in February, how does the idea of nobody contact sound to you? Does it concern you at all of how the game might be played or officiated differently, and just your general thoughts on how that may change your game personally? Because you're such a hard-nosed player who uses his body not only to block a buttload of shots, but using it to your advantage with the physical edge, and which makes you very successful out there. How do you think it's going to be an adjustment, or how it will be an adjustment for you?
Yeah, the point totals are going to be ridiculous. That's the first. Yeah,
you'll get the 10 goals in 10 games.
Yeah, the whole league's going to have a ton of points if that's the case. Personally, I don't like it. If we have no contact, I think it'll suck, but we'll have to deal with it. You guys know I'm not a big fan of not hitting, so
yeah,
I'll have to adjust my game. I'll have to adjust my game I'll have to get my foot speed going and take better angles at guys not being able to hit them into the boards, or clearing the front. That's going to be a little tougher.
You might lose the hippo name.
Yeah, well, then again, he could still block shots. I mean, he's not making contact with anybody but the puck. That's true. So he doesn't go socially distant from the pucks. That's for sure. But
no.
Maybe
I'll still be blocking them.
Yeah, if you're gonna have to learn how to skate a little bit better, maybe you need to pick up that Big Bert yoga DVD that's gonna be hitting the shelves.
Yeah, the fake DVD coming from Uberti.
Mason Howard and Kate just giving it to poor Jakey Birdie.
Love it, absolutely love it.
The kid's gonna come with a vengeance. He's gonna have next year. You guys are gonna do when you guys do the drills in the middle of the ice at center ice. He's gonna start every drill with a yoga stretch. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but with that said, Mason, thanks a lot for coming on to the pod and talking with us. It was a lot of fun. Hope you're able to give our IceDog fans and listeners a little bit more insight to their beloved IceDog, another one of their beloved IceDog players. Some really interesting stuff gave us regarding your career on and off the ice. We're really looking forward to big things for you coming into your third year without trying to put pressure on you like that 99 overall Huck card you got going on. But in the upcoming season, whenever that starts, and this group trying to take that next step forward back up the Eastern Conference. So hope to see you and the rest of the guys down in the Meridian Center sometime in February as the optimism is there for this group to climb back up the Eastern Conference, and the optimism to finally get the season going I know is there. So thanks so much, and take care, Hippo Howard, and we'll make sure to pass those messages along to the rest of your teammates.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Love listening to the show. Hopefully this is a pretty good episode for the viewers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Jake Uberti stuff's gonna be great, and the Hungry Hippos. We definitely gotta. Maybe that's what you're gonna get for Christmas this year. Are you asking for the Hungry Hippos game to kind of keep you in game shape as well?
What?
Yeah, just to try and remember what it's like blocking shots, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome, Mason. Thanks a lot, man. Take it easy. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There is our interview with IceDogs defenseman Mason Howard. Kyle, definitely a funny guy. I'm glad he enjoys Chell as much as we do. Unfortunately, losing in the first round of that esports tournament. But some great insight from the Hippo, and we finally got to know why he's called the Hippo. And yes, he is unfortunately a London Knights fan. His favorite player was Josh Beaulieu growing up, who wore number 10, and that's why he wears number 10. So
and he is also a Leaf fan,
yeah,
which is always great to hear.
I wanted to end the interview right at that point. I almost did. Because I couldn't handle London Knights and Toronto Maple Leafs. That's just a double whammy right there.
But he was a good sport about the whole NHL thing. I mean, like EA Sports gave him a 99 overall hut card. Like, how can you be complaining after that?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have something like that. I'd probably like pick a picture of it and frame it on my wall or something. Like that's something you'll never
even
forget.
Use it.
He had good on him for asking them to reaching out to them to say, hey, send me a card. So. He got those guys, those developers out there to go and send him a 99 overall card. I'm sure he's got bragging rights on the rest of his teammates for that. But do
you think we can do that?
Yeah, probably.
Do you think
not.
they'll do something for us?
I don't think they have media as cards, unfortunately, yet. Maybe we could be one of
those.
those.
We'll send them pictures of our face.
No, we could be one of those generic coaches they put in the game. Why not?
Oh yeah,
those guys that are fake. I don't know who those guys are. They obviously work for EA, but I'm sure we could put ours in there. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for another edition of the Dog Pound Podcast right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your source of North American sports coverage by sports fans for sports fans delivered to you right here in the Niagara region. As always, I'm one of your hosts of the Dog Pound Podcast, Cappy. You can follow me on Twitter at Caputs13 with Canadian Z. As well, you can follow my co-host Kyle at JustKyle51. As well, follow the podcast on Twitter at Dog Pound Podcast. Definitely some great stuff over there, and we will update you on any interviews that we'll be doing with players, any updates with the IceDogs. Everything's on there for you guys. Please go and check that out. And a big thank you to all of our great sponsors who help put us on, support the network, keeping the show on the air. Make sure you're checking them out and telling them that the Armchair GM sent you. It's very important to support local business at this time. And finally, to you viewers out there and IceDog fans for tuning in and listening along with us for this episode. And once again, this is the Dog Pound Podcast on the Armchair GM Sports Network by sports fans for sports fans. Bark, bark, bark. Go Dogs, go. We'll see you guys next time.